step into the arena of global geopolitics where China has taken center stage. Witness the rebirth of the ancient Silk Road, now known as the Belt and Road Initiative, as China seizes control of critical infrastructures. Their factories churn out products at an unparalleled pace, powered by an inexhaustible supply of affordable labor. Politically, they're not just participants but key decision-makers in the global arena, matching wits and wills with powerhouses like the United States and Europe. In response to this expanding influence, China has shored up its defenses with a military that is anything but ordinary. It stands as a top force in Asia, in league with its ally Russia, and is poised on the brink of regional conflict with Taiwan. Meanwhile, tensions simmer with its US-aligned Asian neighbors, Japan and South Korea. But it's the Cold War, with its arch nemesis, the United States, that really tests China's mettle. China is unflinching in its resolve, ready to strike back whenever boundaries are crossed. This was clearly demonstrated when China forcefully expelled a US destroyer that dared to breach the contested waters of the South China Sea. US military bases peppered across the globe, including those in the Pacific under China's gaze, could well be within the crosshairs of Chinese missiles. The Bamboo Curtain country has even ramped up training for its war pilots, preparing them for operations on aircraft carriers. Make no mistake, if China's ire is provoked, the world could be staring down the barrel of regional conflicts or even a global war. The military prowess of China is not just an asset, it's a formidable force that demands vigilant attention. Here's your exclusive look at the formidable military strength of China. Step closer and understand the power that commands global respect and caution.
From the mid-1900s up until now in the 21st century, it's pretty clear that there's a single superpower that stood out: the United States. Wouldn't you agree? Naturally, other nations are eager to catch up with America, some even aiming to steal that superpower spotlight. China is one such contender, and they're not shy about it. Economically, China is almost rubbing shoulders with America. They're one country that doesn't hesitate when it comes to diving headfirst into trade skirmishes. When we talk about military strength, is China a force to reckon with? Well, according to global firepower, they're ranked third. If we peek beneath the surface, we can't help but see China's potential to rise as a superpower. Pocket power. Firstly, let's tackle the topic of how much China invests in their military. As a nation experiencing a quick-paced economic upswing, with a gross domestic product, GDP, tallying up to a whopping $17.73 trillion, China sets aside about 1.2% of its GDP for the military budget. Have you ever wondered how much that comes to? It's a jaw-dropping $230 billion. This figure is second only to the United States in terms of global military expenditure, with the US splurging a staggering $761 billion. Given these financial figures, are you surprised to see China holding the number 2 spot on globalfirepower.com, a site that ranks the military prowess of countries across the globe? Manpower might now, shifting gears to manpower, China's force is nothing short of impressive. Keep in mind, in this era, China is the country that can claim the title for the world's largest population. How many, you ask? As per 2021 data, China's population has skyrocketed to 1.412 billion people, which makes up 17.9% of the world's total 7.888 billion population. With such a vast population, it's only natural to assume China has the largest military personnel count globally, right? You'd be correct. China's military personnel comes in at a whopping 3.1 million, divided into 2 million active personnel, 510,000 reserve personnel, and a further 625,000 paramilitary personnel. What would happen in an emergency, you might wonder? With compulsory military service since 1951, China can quickly bolster their forces. Men aged 16 to 49, a staggering 664.8 million individuals, can be called upon. Can you imagine the size of that force? Weapons galore. Moving on from money and manpower, let's dive into the fascinating realm of weaponry. Did you know China is among the most prolific weapons producers? In fact, this country often regards weapons manufacturing as a primary income source. Let's kick off with their ground artillery. Based on the numbers, China is armed to the teeth with at least 4,950 tanks, 174,300 armored vehicles, 4,229 artillery launchers, and 3,145 rocket projectors. Looking at these figures, don't you think China is a pretty formidable force in terms of ground strength? Moreover, the tech within China's latest weaponry is anything but ordinary. For instance, consider the Dongfeng 41, China's fourth-generation intercontinental ballistic missile. This weapon's capabilities? They're simply mind-boggling. The missile can cover an incredible 18,000 kilometers at a blistering speed of Mach 25, or about 30,600 kilometers per hour. Can you believe this? According to Chinese military parades and official statements, if fired from Beijing, this missile can make it to Washington, D.C. in half an hour. Why bring up America? The answer is simple. China and the U.S. often clash, and recent rumors from the U.S. suggest that China might be supplying weapons to Russia. Besides its speed and range, the DF-41 also boasts considerable firepower. It's armed with between 6 and 10 nuclear warheads, each packing the power of 3 megatons of TNT, hundreds of times the destructive force of the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima during World War II. The Dongfeng 41 isn't the only ace up China's sleeve. Early 2023 saw the unveiling of another game changer, the SC-19, an anti-satellite missile that had the US on high alert. This missile is said to be designed to secure victory in a space war scenario by taking out enemy satellites. Air dominance. Next, let's turn our attention to the skies and China's air arsenal. You might be surprised to learn that the Chinese military possesses a whopping 1,570 fighter aircraft, 801 support aircraft, and 1,194 helicopters. China's air assets are entirely homegrown and are continuously evolving. A notable development is in the realm of drones. China recently announced a new addition to their drone arsenal, the Winglong 1E. Its primary duties include reconnaissance and precision strikes. However, it goes beyond that. The Winglong 1E will be equipped with AI to automate the launch and landing process. China believes that this drone will become the master of the battlefield skies, providing both precise information and deadly attacks. What's more, it's touted as a budget-friendly option, costing just a quarter of what it takes to produce an American drone. So, if an American drone like the MQ-1 Gray Eagle costs about $31 million, then Winglong will only set China back by roughly $7.9 million. Naval might. Transitioning from the skies and the ground, let's delve into China's naval capabilities. Accessible data tells us that China is armed with 2 aircraft carriers, 3 light aircraft carriers for helicopters, 50 destroyers, 43 frigates, 72 corvettes, 78 submarines, 150 patrol vessels, and 36 minesweepers. Their naval strength is quite extraordinary, particularly considering China's frequent involvement in maritime disputes in areas like the South China Sea. One of the most noteworthy elements of China's naval weaponry is their nuclear submarines, such as the Type 094 Jin class. This submarine is a carrier of intercontinental missiles like the JL-2, which can reach up to 7,000 kilometers, and the JL-3, boasting a range of 12,000 kilometers. More impressive is the destructive power they wield, capable of reaching 2 megatons of TNT. That's enough to obliterate cities as large as New York or Tokyo. Well, that concludes our exploration for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.
Who could resist marveling at China's military parades, which consistently showcase impeccable precision and unity, even standing out as one of the best military parades globally? The Chinese Armed Forces, known as the People's Liberation Army (PLA), or internationally recognized simply as PLA, boast 5 branches: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force. This time, I will share insights into the strength of China's army. Internationally, the Chinese Army is recognized as the People's Liberation Army Ground Force, abbreviated as PLAGF. They comprise 2,545,000 personnel out of a total military personnel of 3,135,000 individuals. They are allocated funding from an overall military budget reaching a staggering $250 billion. China's military is renowned for its primary strength in communication capabilities and intelligence gathering. Although known to prefer diplomatic methods to resolve conflicts, China does not let its guard down when it comes to its military fleet's strength. They continually conduct advanced training to fortify their military fleet. They have also been involved in various military operations, from intervening in the Korean War from 1950 to 1953 to the 1962 border conflict with India, known as the Sino-Indian Border War. China successfully achieved its objectives and took control of the disputed territory. Similarly, in military operations against Vietnam, which invaded Cambodia to overthrow the Khmer Rouge regime, China's attack aimed to force Vietnam to withdraw its troops from Cambodia. Furthermore, there are territorial disputes between China, Taiwan, and Japan regarding the ownership of the Diaoyu Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea. The Chinese army is also involved in monitoring and overseeing this area. Let's delve into their armaments one by one. According to the Global Firepower website, the total armada owned by the People's Liberation Army Ground Force reaches 174,300 units. This includes 4,950 tanks, 2,795 self-propelled artillery units, 1,434 towed artillery units, and a whopping 3,145 rocket artillery units. For standard equipment, they are equipped with various types of assault rifles, machine guns, and pistols, which number 46 types, and grenades, which reach 38 types. However, of all the weaponry, the most reliable in the assault rifle category is the QBZ-95, which uses 5 8x42 mm caliber bullets. This assault rifle has several variants, such as the QBZ-95B and QBZ-97. Meanwhile, in the machine gun category, the two most relied upon are the Type 81 with a caliber of 7, 62 by 39 mm, and the Type 95 LMG, more commonly known as QBB-9, which uses 5 8x42 mm caliber bullets. Then, in the shotgun category, there is the Norinco HP91, which can be used for various purposes, including security and close-range combat. Then, in the pistol category, they rely on the QSC-92, with calibers of 5, 8x21mm DAP-92, and 9x19 mm Parabellum, utilized as a secondary weapon by the personnel of the Chinese Army. As for grenades, they opt for the Type 67 hand grenade, also known as a standard defensive hand grenade, which is used for close-range attacks and is of German manufacture. Additionally, they utilize the Type 69 RPG, which signifies a portable rocket launcher used to confront armored vehicles and fortified targets. In the next 2 years, the PLAG plans to purchase 1.4 million units of bulletproof vests, valued at 13 billion yuan, or equivalent to $8 billion US. Some of the most renowned body protectors they utilize include the Type 06, Type 16 plate carrier, CD 3218 VBSS, and ZPC plate carrier. Now let's shift our focus to various anti-tank, portable weapons, and aircraft owned by the PLAGF. In the armored vehicle category, first, there is the Type 99 main battle tank, which is an early third-generation main battle tank made in China, considered the most advanced and reliable armored vehicle in the MBT category. This tank features various modern attributes, including a primary weapon of a 125mm smoothbore gun, armor protection with a thickness reaching 39.37, 47.24 inches, observation systems, and high combat capabilities. It weighs in at 54 tons with a length of approximately 36.09 feet, a width of 11.15 feet, and a height of 7.22 feet. It is equipped with a 1,500 horsepower diesel engine, capable of reaching speeds of 49.71 miles per hour, and can travel a distance up to 248.55 miles. It is also equipped with a main 125 mm cannon that can destroy targets with high accuracy and powerful firing capability. Next, there is the second-generation main battle tank Type 96, also known as ZTZ-96. Then, there is the Type 04 infantry fighting vehicle, an armored version of the ZBD-04 which possesses automatic weapons, armored protection, and good mobility. Continuing, there is the ZBD-08 amphibious IFV, designed for amphibious operations as it can operate in both water and land, equipped with automatic weapons and armored protection. Also, there is the PCL-181 multiple launch rocket system, a multiple rocket launch system used to launch artillery projectiles. The PCL-181 uses 370 mm caliber rockets. This system can carry and launch various types of ammunition, including precision ammunition. Now let's shift our gaze to China's most lethal weaponry, namely its artillery. First, there is the PLZ-05 self-propelled howitzer, which has a caliber of 155 mm and is equipped with an automatic system for quick loading and firing. Then there is the PLZ-52 self-propelled howitzer, the latest variant of the PLE-05 with improved performance and more advanced systems. Third, there is the Type 99 howitzer, with a caliber of 155 mm, which has advanced fire control capabilities and high mobility. Fourth, there is the PLZ-10 self-propelled howitzer, which has a caliber of 120 mm and an automatic system for quick loading and firing. Shifting to their air defense system category, based on range, firstly, there is the short-range HQ-7, which can launch air-to-air and surface-to-air missiles. This mobile SAM system uses a 6-6 transporter erector launcher, abbreviated as TELR, equipped with 4 missile launch tubes as well as search and tracking radar. The length of the missile reaches approximately 9.84 feet, the diameter 21.65 inches, and weight 186.29 pounds. Its warhead weighs around 33.07 pounds and is of the He-Frag type. Additionally, there is the FN-16, a man-portable air defense system, also known as MANPADS, which is effective against low-altitude aerial targets such as helicopters and low-flying aircraft. As for medium range, firstly, there is the HQ-9 Hongqi-9, more commonly known as HQ-9, a potent land-based air defense system capable of confronting aircraft, cruise missiles, and other aerial targets. The HQ-9 has a range of approximately 124 miles. Also, there is the HQ-16, whose export variant is named LY-80. This missile can be mounted on mobile land vehicles like trucks or warships and was developed starting in 2011. It consists of a target tracking radar unit capable of detecting targets up to a distance of 93.21 miles, and a launch unit capable of pursuing targets up to 31.07 miles in altitude and 6.21 miles in height. It is claimed that the HQ-16 is capable of shooting down drones, Tomahawk missiles, and intercepting low-flying anti-ship missiles less than 32.81 feet from the sea surface. Then, for long range, there is the HQ-19, which can handle aerial targets up to high altitudes and can confront ballistic missiles. Also, there is the Russian-made S-400 Triumph, which is also used by the Chinese Air Force because of its potency, with the capability to confront various aerial targets and ballistic missiles. The Chinese Army also possesses a range of specialized aircraft. For transport aircraft types, they have the Xi'an Y-7, Shanxi Y-8, and Shanxi Y-9. Not many indeed, since they are just an army. But for the helicopter category, they have quite a few, starting from the KICZ-10 and Harbin Z-19, which are attack helicopters. Then there is the Changhe Z-8, Changhe Z-18, which functions as a transport aircraft along with the Russian-made Mil-Mi-26. Whereas for utility helicopters, some of their mainstays are the Harbin Z-9, Harbin Z-20, and Mil-Mi-17. They also possess the United States Executive Transport Helicopter, manufactured under license by Turkish Aerospace Industries. The Sikorsky S-70C2, one of the variants of the Sikorsky Black Hawk family, which is one of the most renowned helicopters in history. Yes, there was a time when China was not entirely anti-America. Proof of this is in 1984 when they ordered the Sikorsky SS-70C2 helicopter to reach border areas with extreme altitudes, such as the geographical characteristics found in Tibet and Xinjiang. Shifting to unmanned aerial vehicles, abbreviated as UAVs or drones for various purposes including reconnaissance, surveillance, mapping, and other military missions owned by the PLA-GF. Firstly, there is the CH-4. This Chinese-made UAV, a variant of the KSC Rainbow, can conduct reconnaissance and aerial strike missions. This UAV can carry various payloads including bombs and missiles. Then there is the WZ-8, a supersonic drone that has become one of Beijing's most attention-grabbing military weapons. Specifically designed for high-level reconnaissance and surveillance missions, Chinese media even claim this drone can reach speeds up to Mach 6+ at an altitude of 29.83 miles. The next drone is the Pterodactyl 1, also known as Wing Lung 1. This is a medium-range UAV with multi-role capabilities, including surveillance, intelligence, reconnaissance, and strike. They also rely on the Pterodactyl 2, a more advanced version of the Pterodactyl 1, with enhanced capabilities and payload. Also, there's the Rainbow CH-3 drone, a tactical UAV that can be used for reconnaissance and surveillance missions with good flight capabilities. The Chinese Army also relies on various utility vehicles for various military and logistical needs. These utility vehicles are crucial to support mobility, personnel transportation, equipment transport, and other functions that support Army operations. Some of their mainstay utility vehicles include the Dongfeng Mengshi EQ 2050 series, which is a light tactical vehicle used for personnel transportation, cargo transport, and various other military needs. Then there is the Beijing BJ-212, a versatile tactical vehicle. Also, there are the NJ 2045/2046, BJ-80, and BJ-2022.
Although China currently ranks third as the world's most potent military force, they've continually showcased that underestimating them would be a mistake. Their ongoing mission to develop a world-class military stands testament to this fact. Surprisingly, when it comes to scientific breakthroughs and defense research, a 2023 report from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute reveals that China now outpaces both the United States and other Western democracies. A prime example of China's prowess is its formidable air force. Let's delve into this together. The Chinese Armed Forces, widely known as the People's Liberation Army, or internationally as PLA, is a force to be reckoned with. The PLA encompasses 5 main branches: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force. Speaking of the People's Liberation Army Air Force, or PLADF, it boasts a massive force of 400,000 personnel out of a total military strength of 3,135,000 individuals. They operate with a substantial backing, drawing from a total military budget of $230 billion. The variety of their fleet is both impressive and diverse. According to the Global Firepower website, the PLAF's fleet consists of a whopping 3,166 units. This includes 1,199 fighter jets, 371 attack aircraft, 913 helicopters, 288 transport aircraft, 397 trainers, 112 special mission aircraft, 281 attack helicopters, and a tanker fleet of 4 aircraft. When it comes to standard equipment, the PLADF is equipped with an assortment of fighter jets, bombers, reconnaissance and electronic warfare aircraft, multiple helicopter types, diverse air defense equipment, transport aircraft, and vital training equipment such as flight simulators and ground training facilities. Their ammunition arsenal is divided into missiles and bombs. Starting with missiles, they have short-range cruise missiles like the C-801, C-802, C-602, and Silkworm. They possess hypersonic missiles like CJ-10, C-101, C-301, C-803, C-805, KD-88, and YJ-91. Long-range subsonic missiles include the DH-10, and mid-range subsonic has the KD-63. They have radar-guided ground-to-air missiles such as the HQ-9 and KS-1. For air-to-air, they have a developed version of Russia's Kaliningrad K-5 named PL-1, which has been further advanced into PL-12 and TY-90 versions. Their intercontinental ballistic missiles roster features the Dongfeng series like DF-4, DF-5, DF-31, and submarine-based ballistic missiles like JL-1 and JL-2. Additionally, China boasts the Thunderstone precision-guided bomb, a guided missile system designed to minimize unintended damage. Switching gears to their aircraft, China has an extensive fleet, but of particular note is their nuclear weaponry. They have several types of thermonuclear or hydrogen bombs, which are advanced nuclear weapons. These bombs utilize nuclear fusion reactions to release immense energy, earning them the title of weapons of mass destruction. Prominent among their fleet is the Xi'an H-6 bomber, with 120 units equipped with both nuclear and conventional weaponry. This aircraft is a variant of Russia's Tupolev Tu-16. In addition to their indigenous capabilities, China produces the combat bomber Xi'an JH-7 Flying Leopard, capable of launching nuclear strikes. It's not just homegrown tech either. They have procured the advanced Sukhoi Su-30 from Russia, which can carry tactical nuclear weapons. In fact, they have acquired up to 100 of these aircraft in the MKK and MK2 variants. Currently, there are reports that China is testing the strategic bombers H-8 and Xi'an H-20, both of which can carry nuclear weapons. In the category of ground attack aircraft, there's the Jian Hong 7, commonly referred to as JH-7. This aircraft is designed for both land and maritime strikes and can carry a variety of ordnance, including bombs, missiles, and cannons, primarily for ground attacks and air support roles. Then there's the Shenyang J-16, a multi-role fighter that can function as a ground attack aircraft, reconnaissance plane, and air defense. It's equipped to carry and operate a wide array of precision weapons for striking ground targets. Following that, China have the Chengdu variants J-10B and J-10C. These are also versatile combat aircraft equipped to carry bombs and missiles for ground attacks. Additionally, there's the H-6K, a variant of the Xi'an H-6, which I touched on earlier. This medium-range bomber has the capability to carry and deploy precision weapons for land strikes. Furthermore, there's the JH-7A variant, a modification of the Xi'an JH-7 along with the Shenyang JH-8. These planes are armed with a variety of weapons, including bombs, cruise missiles, and air-to-ground missiles, enabling them to execute precise attack operations. In the category of air superiority fighters designed to counter enemy aircraft and dominate the skies, there's the Chengdu J-20. This fifth-generation Chinese fighter jet is designed for various missions, including air combat, reconnaissance, and ground attack. China also have the Shenyang J-16, a modified version of the fighter J-11B with strong multi-role capabilities. These aircraft are equipped with state-of-the-art technology, cutting-edge radar, advanced avionics systems, and weaponry that allows them to counter aerial threats. Not to forget the transport aircraft category, which plays a vital role in transporting personnel, equipment, logistics, and cargo to various locations. These aircraft are essential not only for supporting military operations, but also for humanitarian aid and various other military tasks. The Xi'an Y-20 stands out as a large strategic transport aircraft designed to carry heavy loads, including tanks, troops, or other military equipment. It is the largest military transport aircraft owned by China. Following that, China have the Shanxi Y-9, Y-8, Ilyushin Il-76, the Russian-made Antonov An-26, and the Shanxi KJ-500. These planes have varied capacities in carrying cargo and supporting different types of military operations. China also boasts a lineup of advanced helicopters for transportation, ranging from the Russian-made Mil-Mi-8 to the Harbin Z-9, Changhe Z-8, the French-made Eurocopter S-332, and the Eurocopter EC-225. Next, in the electronic warfare aircraft category, used for electronic reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and aerial surveillance missions. These aircraft come equipped with sophisticated electronic devices and systems, allowing them to detect, monitor, and analyze electronic signals, further bolstering air defense operations. First up is the Shaanxi Y-9G, a tactical transport aircraft tailored for reconnaissance and electronic warfare missions. Next, we have the KJ-500. Not only can this serve as a transport aircraft, but it also functions as an airborne warning and control system plane. This aircraft excels in aerial surveillance and control, supporting air defense operations. Additionally, it's equipped to coordinate airborne missions. Similarly, the KJ-200 also serves as an AWACS, designed explicitly for providing air surveillance and control during aerial combat. Taking technological prowess up a notch, the KJ-2000 boasts a sophisticated radar system for long-range air surveillance. This aircraft, adapted from the Russian-made Ilyushin Il-76 tactical transport plane, has an impressive range of 9,000 kilometers. Due to its advanced radar capabilities, it's been aptly nicknamed the Dragon's Eye. These aircraft play pivotal roles in bolstering and enhancing the electronic and aerial surveillance capabilities of China's Air Force. They assist in identifying and monitoring air activity and provide crucial intelligence for military decision-making. Beyond these state-of-the-art military aircraft, China has an equally formidable lineup of air defense systems, including surface-to-air missiles designed for air defense and missile defense operations. The Hongqi 9, commonly known as HQ-9, stands out. It's a medium-range surface-to-air missile system capable of countering aircraft, cruise missiles, and other aerial threats. The HQ-9 is a potent ground-based air defense system. This prowess is mirrored in the Hongqi 22, equipped with anti-aircraft and anti-missile capabilities. Other noteworthy systems include the HQ-12, HQ-6, HQ-7, and Russia's S-300 and S-400. These systems vary in their abilities to handle aerial threats and ensure regional security. To counter increasingly complex challenges, China is continually refining and modernizing its surface-to-air missile systems. Furthermore, China boasts an array of anti-aircraft guns designed for aerial defense against aircraft and other airborne targets. China's own LD-2000 is a prime example. This ground-based close-range weapon system gets its name LD from the Mandarin term Lu Dun, meaning land shield. It's tailored to counter threats from rockets, artillery, and sea-ram mortars, making it an effective short-range air defense system. Then there's the Swiss-made Oerlikon GDF, capable of intercepting all aerial threats within a range of 4,000 meters. Lastly, we have the AZP S-60 anti-aircraft cannon designed and produced by the Soviet Union. This automatic gun primarily serves as a close-range air defense against adversary aircraft and helicopters. The AZP S-60 has seen usage across various countries and military conflicts since its introduction in the 1950s. Despite its age, it was notably employed in the Russia versus Ukraine conflict in 2022, proving its enduring relevance.
People's Liberation Army Navy, or Plan of China, is recognized for various aspects and capabilities that influence both regional and global security dynamics. This includes the enhanced modernization and expansion they have undertaken over the past few decades. This involves increasing the capability and number of warships, aircraft, anti-ship capabilities, and their nuclear capabilities. Here lies the strength of China's naval military force. The Chinese armed forces are known by the name People's Liberation Army, or internationally recognized as the PLA. The PLA encompasses 5 branches, namely the Army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Strategic Support Force. In the international arena, the Chinese Navy is known by the name PLAN, an acronym for People's Liberation Army Navy. They comprise 300,000 personnel out of a total military personnel of 3,135,000 individuals. They gain access to funding from the overall total military budget, reaching $230 billion. So far, there have been several notable military operations involving the plan. starting from the Battle of the Paracel Islands in 1974, where the Chinese Navy launched attacks and occupied several islands in the Paracel Islands, which were also claimed by South Vietnam. Then, in 1995 to 1996, the Chinese Navy was involved in various demonstrative actions and military exercises near the Taiwan Strait in response to Taiwan's independence claims. This resulted in escalating tensions between China and the United States. Up to the citizen rescue operation during the Libyan crisis in 2011, the Chinese Navy transported thousands of people to safer places. And in 2015, they also evacuated at least 600 Chinese citizens and 225 foreign nationals working in Yemen during the Yemeni conflict. For standard equipment, they are equipped with various types of assault rifles, machine guns, and pistols that have 46 types and 38 types of grenades. The Chinese Navy became stronger since they had an aircraft carrier called Liaoning, which was first operated in 2012. In addition, China has owned many types of ships. For the aircraft carrier category, they have Liaoning or CV-16, known as the first aircraft carrier of the Chinese Navy, which was previously known as Varyag. This ship is a former ship of the Ukrainian Navy that was purchased, renovated, and modified by China. Liaoning is a conventional or non-nuclear aircraft carrier and began operating in 2012. Secondly, there is Shandong or CV-17, which stands as the first aircraft carrier that was entirely designed and built in China. This ship has several improvements and enhancements compared to Liaoning and began its operations at the end of 2019. And the most recent and advanced is the aircraft carrier of Type 003 class, known by the name Fujian. This aircraft carrier was launched in June 2022 and utilizes a gas pressure catapult launching system, also known as CATOBAR, and an electromagnetic catapult launcher for aircraft. The name Fujian was chosen in accordance with the province closest to mainland China to Taiwan, following a province naming pattern like Liaoning and Shandong. This ship has a weight up to 80,000 tons and a length of 304.5 meters, almost equivalent to the Ford aircraft carrier owned by the United States. This ship is capable of carrying 2,700 crew members and 85 naval detachments for search and rescue missions. Its operational range reaches 10,000 nautical miles or 18,520 kilometers without refueling, doubling the size and range of the Liaoning and Shandong aircraft carriers. Powered by 2 gas turbine generators and 4 diesel-electric generators, it allows a top speed of 30 knots and a cruising speed of 28 knots. In the Corvette category, or their first small warships, they possess 72 units. Some of their mainstays are Type 056, also known as Zhangdao class, designed for coastal defense, patrolling, and rapid attacks. They are equipped with anti-ship weapons, surface-to-air missiles, and other weaponry. Then there is Type 054A, also known as Zhangkai 2 class, and Type 056A, or Zhangdao 2 class, which is a variant of Type 056, updated with more advanced sensor systems and weaponry, as well as its role. And for the frigate category, they have a total of 43 units. 3 of them are Type 054A, Type 053H3, and Type 053H1G, equipped with modern weapon systems including surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missiles, and cannons. These ships have enhanced air defense capabilities and can be used for various missions including air defense, patrolling, and anti-ship operations. Then, for the destroyer type of ship, which is a large warship with versatile capabilities, including air defense, anti-ship, anti-aircraft, and power projection, China owns 50 destroyer units. Some types include Type 052D, the latest destroyer ship equipped with AISA radar systems and modern weapons, including surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missiles, and torpedoes. Then there is Type 055, a 13,000-ton stealth missile destroyer considered to be the most potent surface combatant in the world. It's even larger and more powerful than most destroyers owned by the United States, Japan, and South Korea. Also, there is Type 051B, more commonly known as the Luhai class, which has been in existence since 1999, and Type 052C, known as the Luhu class, which began development in 2004. Now, shifting to the amphibious ship category, designed for operations in shallow waters and to support the transport, landing, and support of amphibious forces. First, there is Type 075, which is a helicopter landing ship. This ship can transport 30 helicopters and a number of tanks, armed vehicles, jet boats, and hundreds of naval troops for ground assaults. Secondly, there is Type 071, also known as the Yuzhou class. Additionally, there are 8 other types of amphibious ships. Moreover, the Chinese Navy also operates and develops various types of minesweepers, totaling 36 units. Minesweepers are designed to detect, clear, and destroy sea mines, which pose a serious threat in waters. Mine operations are a crucial part of military strategy involving controlling and securing strategic sea lanes and waters. Starting from the Type 010 minesweeper, first used in 1987 but still active to this day, to the most recent variant, the Type 081A minesweeper. Another factor that makes the Chinese Navy respected globally is because China has a growing nuclear submarine program. China has nuclear submarines with ballistic missiles and nuclear submarines with cruise missiles. In the category of nuclear ballistic missile submarines, they have 8 units of Type 094/094A. These Jin-class submarines are said to be the submarines most feared by the United States because they carry JL-2 missiles with megaton nuclear warheads, 67 times more powerful than the little boy nuclear bomb dropped by the US in Hiroshima. These submarines are replacements for the older Type 092 or Jia-class submarines. These submarines have the capability to deploy intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching targets at a distance of 10,000 kilometers. Then, for the category of nuclear attack submarines, they have 12 units divided into 3 types. First, Type 091, the Han-class submarines, are the first type of nuclear submarine owned by the Chinese Navy, operating since the 1970s. Currently, its status is inactive but always ready to be a reserve. Secondly, there is Type 093. The Shang-class submarines represent the next generation of China's nuclear submarines, boasting more modern technology and capabilities, including the ability to carry cruise missiles and anti-ship missiles. These Shang-class submarines first entered operation in the early 2000s. And thirdly, there is Type 093A. These updated Shang-class submarines, known as the improved Shang-class, are often referred to as the United States Nightmare. They feature enhanced sonar and sensor systems, as well as improvements in weapon systems, even being capable of carrying up to 22 torpedo-sized weapons and transporting the supersonic YJ-18 cruise missile. In addition, China also possesses conventional attack submarines, totaling 58 units and divided into 11 types. Some of them include the Type 039A or UN-class submarine, designed for various roles, including surface attack and anti-submarine warfare. This submarine can carry cruise missiles and has the capability to launch torpedoes. Then there is the Type 039B, also known as the UN-class, and several other variants of Type 039A. Also, there is the Russian-made Project 636 submarine, also known as the Kilo class. Kilo-class submarines are diesel-electric submarines that have a good reputation in terms of durability, sophistication, and quietness. The same goes for Project 877 EKM, also made in Russia, and has been operated by the Chinese Navy since 1995. Leaving their various ship collections behind, let's take a look at the various special aircraft they have for naval purposes. So, separate from their Air Force. Impressively, the aircraft used amount to 33 types, with various task and role variants. In the helicopter category, they have the French-made Aerospatiale SA-321 Super Frelon and Eurocopter ACE-565 Panther. Then the Chinese-made Changhe Z-8, Changhe Z-18 Harbin Z-9, and the Russian-made Kamov K-28, Kamov K-31, and Mil-Mi-8. Whereas in the jet category, they have the Chengdu J-10, which serves as a multi-role aircraft alongside the Shenyang J-11B/BS, Shenyang J-15, all made in China, and the Russian-made Sukhoi Su-30 MKK. Guizhou JL-9, Hongdu JL-8, and Hongdu JL-10 serve as training aircraft. Shenyang J-8 and Xi'an JH-7 serve as attack aircraft. And in the transport aircraft category, there are the Canadian-made Bombardier CRJ-100/200 and Bombardier CRJ-700 series. Then, for strategic bombers, they use the Xi'an H-6, and there's more. They will continue to enhance the military capabilities of their navy, including advancements in technology, naval strength, and power projection capacity in strategic regions. They even utilize advanced technologies like artificial intelligence. One of the developments in progress is the first AI aircraft carrier capable of launching its own military attacks.
The South China Sea, a location that seems to be perpetually embroiled in conflict, especially between China and Southeast Asian nations like the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Indonesia. The root of this tension lies in China's assertion that this vast sea, spanning 1.35 million square miles, belongs to them. This claim is undeniably advantageous for China, as the South China Sea is one of the world's most crucial maritime routes. Every year, at least 30% of the world's cargo ships facilitating global trade traverse these waters, with trade estimates reaching a staggering $5.4 trillion. But it's not just about trade. The South China Sea is a treasure trove of natural resources. It is believed to hold around 11 billion barrels of oil and approximately 2,047 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. Moreover, 10% of the world's fish catch comes from these waters. Given the potential, it's clear why China is so keen on monopolizing these resources. In its quest to dominate the South China Sea, China recently unveiled a new map, which has drawn protests from countries like Malaysia, India, and Taiwan, due to the depicted territories encroaching upon various nations. In addition to releasing this new map, China has been increasingly aggressive in its actions to solidify the South China Sea as its official territory. One of the most astonishing moves is China's construction of artificial islands, which serve as military bases in the South China Sea. We'll delve deeper into this topic shortly. China, as one of the world's wealthiest nations, seems to have the ability to achieve almost anything. Back in 2016, satellite imagery revealed a startling discovery. China had commenced the construction of artificial islands in the Spratly Archipelago. What's even more astonishing is that just 2 years prior, these islands were non-existent. And it wasn't just one island. China had strategically placed 7 man-made islands in the South China Sea. This massive construction project, which began in 2014, transformed what were once mere coral reefs into habitable islands that can accommodate hundreds of people. The satellite images showcase the islands being constructed using large ships that pumped sand to create land masses. In less than 2 years, these Chinese-made islands were already equipped with seaports, airstrips complete with runways, buildings that can house up to 200 individuals, and even military installations like radar systems and air defense mechanisms. China's efforts to control the Spratly Islands are clearly aimed at asserting dominance over the South China Sea. According to international law, China cannot claim these tiny islands since they are far from China's main territory and are uninhabited. This is likely why China decided to construct artificial islands there. By building infrastructure and populating these islands with their citizens, they can stake a claim over the Spratly Archipelago. This move, understandably, has unsettled many nations in the South China Sea region. China's aggressive stance in claiming the South China Sea starkly contrasts with the international laws established by the United Nations through the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. According to these regulations, The maritime environment of the South China Sea is divided into exclusive economic zones, or EEZs, that extend 200 nautical miles, or 370.4 kilometers, from the coastline. These EEZs are then governed by the respective countries to manage natural resources and trade routes. However, for China, these international laws are deemed irrelevant because they have their own historical claim. Based on historical records, China asserts its claim over the South China Sea through the Nine-Dash Line, a legacy inherited from the 15th century. This line consists of broken dashes that encompass 90% of the South China Sea and 100% of the Spratly Islands. Naturally, this ancestral claim from China is not internationally recognized, yet, given China's formidable military strength, they can act with impunity in the South China Sea. China's audacity is evident in their tactics. They've constructed military bases on the Spratly Islands and implemented the cabbage strategy. While the name might sound amusing, the reality is quite intimidating. This strategy involves China surrounding an island or ship in the Spratly Islands with military vessels, akin to wrapping food with cabbage leaves. This allows China to exert dominance over the Spratly Islands. The cabbage strategy is also a reason why China created artificial islands as military bases. The more military bases they have in the Spratly Islands, the more resources they can allocate for military operations. Furthermore, China's audacious actions aren't limited to the sea. In 2015, the Bamboo Curtain Nation also implemented an air identification zone over the Spratly Islands. With this enforcement, any aircraft passing over the Spratly Islands must report to China. This move is clearly overstepping boundaries. In light of China's audacious actions, various international responses have emerged. For countries surrounding the South China Sea, Vietnam has taken its own measures by creating 10 artificial islands to counteract China's moves. Meanwhile, the Philippines has initiated regular patrols in the South China Sea using military vessels, especially after Chinese patrol ships drove out Filipino patrol boats. Responses to China's behavior in the South China Sea aren't limited to Asian countries. Outside of Asia, the United States, for instance, has begun deploying its warships for continuous patrols in the South China Sea. This sea is of paramount importance to the US as it serves as China's access point to the North Pacific Ocean, which borders a significant portion of America's coastline. Highlighting its significance, Steve Bannon, a former advisor to Trump, even once mentioned the possibility of the US going to war in the South China Sea within the next 5 to 10 years. Of course, no one wishes for such an outcome. The potential conflict between China and the US in the South China Sea seems unlikely, not because either country fears the other, but due to the fact that China's artificial islands in the Spratly Islands are gradually sinking. Reports suggest that these islands are sinking because their foundational soil isn't strong enough to support the weight of the massive structures built upon them. Additionally, the frequent tidal changes and storms in the South China Sea are eroding these islands bit by bit. Thus, if these artificial islands were to be completely destroyed, China would suffer a significant loss, yet they persist in their claims over the South China Sea.